Welcome to today's episode of Cascading Leadership. I am your friendly neighborhood talent strategy nerd, Dr. Jim, and we are in for a special episode today. This is episode number 99. And what's significant about this particular episode is that we haven't even hit our 1 year anniversary as a podcast, and we're wrapping up the year 2022 with episode 99. So it's been a lot of fun meeting all sorts of interesting people and having some great conversations about how we can help everybody move their careers further faster. So it's been a lot of fun, and I figured we would wrap up our first almost year, episode 99, with a different show. I think given the time of year, everybody is wondering what will 2023 look like. There is something interesting that came out that's gotten me thinking. So recently, you may or may not have heard and seen ChatGPT make a huge splash in the world of work. And basically, this is a query-based AI tool run by OpenAI that can basically give you a lot of great foundational content that could be applied to any number of things. You've seen people use ChatGPT to build custom code, build automations. You've seen a lot of content start to get driven out that has at least some foundation of being developed by AI. So it's going to have some interesting implications in the world of work in 2023. But I think one of the things that's really interesting about ChatGPT getting into the marketplace is some of the broader implications of the platform and how it can actually impact a lot of the major tech companies that are out there. So there's 5 relationships that I want to tie together. And some of this was brought up by Will Aitken. And if you aren't following Will on Vidyard, on LinkedIn, on social and sales feed, you should. He's hilarious and he's got great content. So definitely check him out. But one of the things that he mentioned got me thinking about how does that tie into ChatGPT? And there's sort of 5 relational elements that I want to talk about as we talk about this future of work or predictions for 2023 type of show. So 1, you have ChatGPT by OpenAI. 2, you have Microsoft and Azure. 3, you have LinkedIn. 4, you have Google. And 5, you have TikTok. There's a relationship across those 5. I think it's important to tie together. So ChatGPT is essentially a querying platform. You type in a question and it'll pump out an answer on any number of topics. It uses natural language processing and a bunch of other stuff that's like way over my head, but it's really interesting and it's really useful and you can have a lot of fun with it. OpenAI is the company that actually built it. OpenAI has a relationship with Microsoft, and OpenAI and ChatGPT runs off of Azure. So there's a really interesting relationship there. And it's interesting because when you look at some of the other things that are happening within the world of tech, Google as a standalone product, but also tied with YouTube, has spent time going back and forth as the #1 search engine in the world. And they have a monetization model that's tied to searches that you perform on their site. TikTok has actually battled Google throughout the course of the year for that top spot as far as a search engine is concerned. So how is all of that related? If you think about it, Microsoft doesn't have, as far as I know, a search engine type tool. So what if the things that you're seeing in terms of ChatGPT and OpenAI coming into the marketplace is the precursor for Microsoft making a play into the search world with the understanding or expectation that probably TikTok is going to be removed from the US marketplace, which creates an opportunity for Microsoft to expand in the marketplace and have their own offering as a search engine. Their search engine potentially isn't going to be driven by ad volume. That has a significant impact in terms of being able to grab market share away from Google. And what makes this all interesting is where LinkedIn comes into all of this. LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft, just like YouTube is owned by Google. And Will Aitken actually pointed this out earlier, where you've seen this recent transition where LinkedIn has actually brought in a lot of the top content creators from TikTok and other short form platforms into the LinkedIn ecosystem. And they are actually being brought on as LinkedIn insiders and content creators. And what Will mentioned is that it's a move towards or shift towards more short form content on LinkedIn and an effort to go ahead and build a younger demographic on the LinkedIn platform And when you think about it at an enterprise level, if you're looking at Microsoft, which owns LinkedIn, wanting to make a push into search as an offering and compete with Google and TikTok, it logically makes sense that you have some of these content creators that are huge on other platforms come to LinkedIn and drive more short form content there. So I think the relationship or trend or projection that needs watching is, how will OpenAI, ChatGPT, and their association with Azure and Microsoft by way of LinkedIn impact search capability and competition against Google and TikTok? That is the thing that I'm going to be paying attention to, because that has some massive business implications. And I think when you look at where TikTok is positioned in terms of their reach in the global market, but more importantly, the US market, and especially legislation that's there, I think Microsoft is probably seeing an opportunity where they could supplant or replace TikTok as a short form content platform that has a lot more value than just what we know TikTok for. So I'd be curious to get other people's perceptions or impressions on this sort of future looking conversation that we're having. I thought I'd do something a little bit different for episode 99 and see how it shakes out a year from now. I'll be curious to see how that goes. For those of you who tuned into the episode and who've been tuning in since we launched in February, totally appreciate your support. Great way to wrap up 2022 with episode 99. Season 3 is going to be launching on Thursday in the first week of January, so keep an eye out for that. We have Ashley Brundage, who is a best-selling author of Empowering Differences and also a CEO of Empowering Differences, going to be on that show. It's going to be a great story. And we're totally looking forward to telling a lot more great stories in 2023. It's going to be a lot of fun. And LB and I have some additional big announcements to make as we get further into 2023. So for those of you who joined, I appreciate your support. I'd be curious to get your thoughts on what you think of my view into the crystal ball and how ChatGPT, Azure, Microsoft, Google, TikTok, and YouTube are all going to play together and create some interesting things to watch out for in 2023. You can find Cascading Leadership on your favorite podcast platform. If you like this show, tell a friend, have them follow and subscribe on all of the platforms that we're on. We're under the Cascading Leadership handle across TikTok, across YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, marginally on Twitter, not on Instagram because that's for food pics. And we're looking forward to a great 2023 where we have a lot more conversations on how we can help you move your career further faster. Thanks for joining us.